let's welcome Itali-Echo. Benvenuti a Itali-Echo, Boston's only Italian-American bilingual show. This is Global Echoes, Boston's hub for international radio, WNTN Radio. So today we are going to launch Smile and Shine, everything you need to know for a wonderful smile. And today my guest is Dr. Claudia Maragno, Italian-American dentist, a wonderful woman and a passionate dancer who has been a valuable member of the Italian-American community here in Boston. So welcome, benvenuta.
Everyone, and thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. So first and foremost, let's talk a little bit about yourself. So you are Italian, however, you've moved a little bit all over the places, and your international journey started a few years ago in the United Kingdom, right?
That's correct, Viviana. My international journey started almost 10 years ago when I moved to the United Kingdom. It was really a wonderful international experience to me, where I could familiarize with diversity, with a new culture, and I always wanted to live in a northern European country, and whenever the opportunity arose, I just grabbed it.
Terrific. And then your relocation to the Big Apple must have been really exciting.
Oh yes. Living in the Big Apple was probably a life-changing experience to me. There, you really have the feeling to be in the center of the world. New York is an incredible global hub that connects people and businesses and companies worldwide. It's a city with a high magnetism and energy, and it was fantastic to have the opportunity to study at New York University for 1 year.
Wonderful. And then off to Boston.
Yes, yes, Viviana, that was another chapter of my journey. Always wanted to live in different places in the United States, and so I was motivated enough to move to Boston and explore it, which it's a city that I consider the cultural capital of the United States. Boston counts around 35 between universities and colleges, and has a student population of 150,000 individuals. And so because of that, it's incredibly international and diverse and very young. A lot to do, a lot to visit, and extremely lively.
It is. It's an incredible city. So, Claudia, after almost 10 years spent abroad, which advice would you give to young millennials?
Well, Viviana, I am a millennial myself, and I would say, first of all, become proficient in a different language, in a second language, because I think that every language is somehow an expression of a culture. It's like diving into a different culture, and I don't know if you know what I mean. It's a different way of expressing yourself and communicating with others, and it's really an expression of a different way of thinking, I think.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. So, Claudia, what else can you tell us about your journey?
Well, I think spending time abroad, it's always very enriching, and I always suggest people to spend the period abroad, either to complete your education or to spend a sabbatical period, because it will allow you to get exposed to a different system and a different culture, and see in perspective your own reality. When I left Italy, I became probably more objective, and I could see the pros and the cons, the bads and the goods of my country. And I think it's important to have terms of comparison. And yes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You mentioned that it's not all about education, though.
That's correct, Viviana. I always say make sure you build a good resume that allows you to open good professional doors. But I also advise to be a little bit street smart and not lose contact with reality. And I think it's important to develop a balance between a good educational background and the so-called university of life. Yes, school helps you to develop good problem-solving abilities, to be more articulated when approaching different circumstances. Um, However, sometimes universities, especially, can become ivory towers or kind of bubbles that are a little bit disconnected from reality. So, all in all, I think it's also important to have a hobby, to get exposed to different people coming from different backgrounds, and so grow personally as much as professionally. Because what I realized is that at the end of the day, we live in a world that is made out of people, and oftentimes solutions are not on books, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. So let's dive into dentistry. What are you doing right now?
So I'm a passionate dentist. I love particularly implantology, which I think is the happy specialty in dentistry. It's something people go through to improve themselves, their self-confidence, their appearance, and ultimately to improve their quality of life. I am currently working in a dental office where I'm surrounded by a wonderful team of doctors and specialists, and they are committed as I am to provide the best possible treatments for patients. So for me, it's really, really fantastic to be part of this team. I am detail oriented, I'm a perfectionist, and I think this is very, very important while practicing dentistry. And ultimately, my commitment is to do everything that is in my knowledge, in my power, and in my possibilities to give patients a better smile and a better quality of life.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Claudia Maragno, for joining us today. And